I'm Bob Hallmark in Liberty City today. Let's talk fire departments. More precisely, it was once the little fire department that could. It started off with a couple of volunteers and a couple of trucks, and I'm talking about the Sabine Fire and Rescue department out here. And over the years, they have actually grown, and over my shoulder, I'm going to explain that in just for a minute. But we're going to talk about one of the original members of the Sabine Fire and Rescue, and he joins us right now. Sabine Fire and Rescue Chief Richard Sisk. Talk about the early days, I guess. There weren't many of you, were there?
There was not. So the department started back in 1985, completely volunteer. People responded as they could. We've done that for decades, really. And that we've kind of grown momentum. We've lost volunteers, but we've grown momentum with support in the community and those things.
And we were out on a lot of those fires with you at that point, so we knew what your manpower was at the time.
Yes, sir.
It was a challenge at some point.
Sometimes it was a struggle, just getting volunteers that had time and availability to respond. So, you know, we went to the community and started asking for some help, and there was some transition that took place with an emergency service district.
Okay.
And
all right. And now, one of the things that we want to talk about right now is that the need arose. People began to see how this was important, that they had a fire and rescue in this area.
Absolutely.
And that's what led to something else happening. As you began to grow, you began to see you've got to have more here, you've got to have a bigger building, that sort of thing.
Yes, sir. Staffing became, a necessity that we couldn't always meet. We depend on mutual aid, so the community voted it in. We put it to the community. We got an emergency service district passed. We collect tax dollars, and that happened in 2014. Took us a few years to get there, but the community supported us. And during that time frame, through that campaign, we committed to increasing response times, lowering property protection classification, providing a future 24-hour staffed fire station. And that is what the community has supported, and that's what's got us here, that support.
When he says that's what's got us here, you heard him say they're going to be a 24/7 department now. Look over my shoulder right here, and this is the next step right here. The future home of the Sabine Fire and Rescue Station 1. We're going to have a couple of pictures of this right here. This is important because you started with only just a couple of engines. Now you got a lot more to deal with here.
Yes. So we will go 24 hours a day. We'll staff 3 firefighters starting out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. This station is going to be more than just a fire station for just a crew. This station also supports our 911 fire-based dispatch center that we took on ourselves about 3 years ago. So it will staff up to 2 dispatchers 24/7. It'll also be our administration, our training facility, our training room, those kinds of things, and all of our staffing here. It should support growth for the next, hopefully, 20-30 years.
Okay. Now, you heard me mention earlier, Richard was one of the originals. He did not start with another fire department. You started as a volunteer here.
I did. So I originally started here. Never worked in another fire station. Became a volunteer firefighter. Worked my way up. Got selected as a volunteer fire chief. Worked with the community. Transitioned into an emergency service district in 2014. They hired me as a full-time fire chief in 2015. So I gave up the other career and took this on full-time. In 2019, we passed a sales tax district, so our sales tax rate, and that has, between the support of our community, our board members, the fire department, our families, that has got us to this. So this is a wonderful thing. It's going to transition us into the future and give and deliver on those promises we made when we campaigned for that tax money.
And that's the important part. Now, as you look here, this is where ground is going to be broken, and I believe this is on the 7th of September, is that correct?
September 7th at 9:30, we're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony. It's open to the public. We'd love for anyone that has watched this transition, seen the department through the decades, seen our struggles, voted and supported this district in this community. We'd love to have you here. It's going to be hot. We're going to make it quick, but we think it's important to celebrate this. It's really a historic moment for us.
All right, and now that's important too, because on a personal perspective, you saw its humble origins. and now you have seen it come to this point. I'm guessing, in your wildest imagination at that point, did you ever imagine that you would get to this point one day?
You know, when I joined this department back in beginning of 2011, before the wildfires, as a volunteer, didn't even know a volunteer fire department existed, but I did know business and management. So fell in love with this, had no idea. It's been a blessing.
All right, well, congratulations.
Thank
Chief.
you.
All right, and we'll have much more on this story tonight on KLTV 7 News. For KLTV Web Extra, I'm Bob Hallmark.